Hi African Queen channel, how are you doing? I hope you're well today. And also I'm also greeting Africa 55 group. How are you doing? My name is African Queen Mo or Maureen Wangati Nyakbo. And I am actually a YouTuber and I talk about many different things on my channel, including family life, including politics and things that are going on in our current society. At the moment, I am here to discuss many things. Yeah, and at the moment I'm actually based in the UK, and I'm here because my family is here. Yeah, I decided to come outside and talk to you. Let me try and see if I can get the right angle first of all. Yeah, I decided to come outside and talk to you because I wanted to enjoy a little bit of the sun and vitamin D. I was remembering my own country of Kenya and thinking to myself, you know, what is going on over there, guys? What is going on? 10,000 metric tons of GMOs? Do you know what you are exposing our country to, guys? 10,000 metric tons of GMOs, is that 10 million kilos? So what's going to happen to the maize that is being harvested in our Rift Valley, in our breadbasket? What's going to happen to those farmers? You know, I'm very quite disappointed, to be honest, by the current government, because I would have expected that they would actually be trying their best to protect the hustlers, to protect the farmers who have also received mbolea. They have received fertilizer. Okay, what was the point of sending fertilizer to our farmers if indeed actually the plan is to sabotage the agricultural industry in the country, the agriculture, the farmers themselves? So you send them fertilizer and sell it at what they call below market price. And in the meantime, in the high seas, I don't understand this government one bit, you guys. You people who support this government, please explain it to me, because I really just don't understand it. Or maybe I do and I don't want to think about it. I can't even imagine, because, you know, I can't imagine being that evil. I just cannot imagine it. So there you are. As the president, you go happily announcing that you have reduced the cost of fertilizer, that the way to get us out of poverty is not to insulate the common mwananchi, but to make them pay extra for their food and remove the safety net and subsidies that were there from the previous government, where you were the deputy president, and then meanwhile introduce fertilizer at below market rate, what you think is below market rate, when we know very well much of that fertilizer was actually a donation from the countries. At least we are not really sure about that, but we hear that that is actually supposed to be a donation. So you sell the farmers the fertilizer, and in the meantime, also at the same time, you're ordering 10,000 metric tons of maize to come into the country and sabotage the harvest of your farmers. Now that is what I call fabulous evil. That is fabulous. You know what I mean? What do I say about that? Really? Who could have imagined that a president who is the son of a poor man would actually try to sabotage other sons of poor men and other poor men? How? This is the reason why I tell you guys as Kenyans, please do not judge a book by the cover. Do not go by the normal narrative that tries to divide the rich and the poor, that tries to divide people by tribe. One of my best friends is actually Kalenjin. I am a Kikuyu, and one of my best friends is actually a Kalenjin. I love her to death, and I love her family. And they have also done so much for me. Also, when I lost my baby, they were there for me. I mean, when we were having fun, I was there. Let me tell you guys, do not agree to be divided by tribe. There is no division by tribe. The same way that they try to divide America by race is the way that they're also trying to divide us by tribe. What we are divided by right now is the economy. The only thing that is standing between us and others is that there's a 1% that wants to control everything. Okay? They want to have everything and make the 99% slaves to them. So what I want to tell Kenyans is this: do not consume that GMO maize. Do your best to make sure that that GMO maize does not reach our soils. Once it reaches our soils, that is it with our indigenous seed. That is it with our beautiful insects, our pollinators, our bees, our worms, which are busy turning the soil for us so that we don't have to actually have additional inputs. Many young people want to go into farming. How are you going to go into farming if you're going to have to be now dependent on additional pesticides, additional fertilizers, you know, paying so much money to do farming when you have rich soils? We have already been given rich soils by the good old Lord. On top of that, there's the nutritional aspect. Are you aware that many of these crops, these GMOs, have been adulterated with DNA from animals? So, for example, pig's DNA inserted into rice, or inserted into maize, or inserted into cotton. So actually, you're no longer even vegetarian anymore. You can no longer say that you're vegetarian or that you're eating vegetables, yeah? Because you're actually be consuming the DNA of animals in your plants. Let me tell you something. If you think that you don't eat ugali and therefore you're not affected, you're joking, because corn oil is used to fry everything, okay? Corn oil is used in cakes, it's used in making your chips, if you eat potatoes, it's used in cooking, and especially GMO corn. The only oil which is not GMO is sunflower oil. So the rest of you guys who are busy there buying corn oil, thinking that you're doing very well, Tielianto, all of that is just GMO. I hope you're aware about that. If you're not actually using your own Kenyan corn, then you're actually eating GMO. Okay, guys? Yeah? Eat sunflower oil. Sunflower oil is the only one that is not GMO. Now, you need to understand something from a nutritional point of view. I have done my research. I was so lucky to travel this world. God has given me the opportunity to travel, and I'm going to use my travel to inform and educate. Okay, guys? When you eat GMO corn, what you are doing is that you're confusing your body. Our bodies were created and designed by the Creator so that it understands the different DNAs of different things. So, for example, if you consume wheat, if you consume millet, if you consume maize, if you consume milk, cheese, eggs, there's a certain DNA, there's a certain protein fix. The way that the molecules have been designed is in a way that it will be recognized by our bodies and consumed and used in the right way, okay, applied correctly, to give us perfect nutrition. Unfortunately, what happens with GMOs now is that we confuse the body. The body no longer understands this DNA molecular structure of this food. So what happens when you consume it, you feel full, but you'll end up being malnutrition. Why? Because that food is recognized as a toxin. So what happens is that the body's liver kicks in. The body just takes that food through the system. It bypasses the digestive system, goes straight to the liver, kidneys, and starts to be detoxified. The kidneys go overdrive, trying to detoxify whatever it is that you're consuming in your stomach. And that's the reason why we're also told not to eat very deep fried foods. But there's no problem with consuming things like butter and things like that, as long as your animals have been fed on proper nutrition. Okay? So not only are you going to be feeding your babies milk that have been milk from animals that have been fed GMO maize, and therefore that milk is not going to help your children to grow strong as like their ancestors. Africans, by the way, have the strongest DNA in the world. We have the most diverse genetic makeup in the world, and that makes us extremely strong. Why? Because we have had a culture of selecting DNA that is not related. For example, we do not marry our relatives. If you want to bring somebody and introduce them to your family, the first thing they're going to ask them is, who are they? Which clan are they from? Bring their parents here. We have to make sure that we are not related closely in any way. That is a way to protect our health and also protect our genetic makeup and our genetic pool. All other races have not got the diversity of genetic makeup as black people. So what's going to happen now, if you introduce the DNAs of maize, of plants and animals together in our food systems, we are going to be weakened. That's going to weaken our immune system, it's going to weaken us, and it's going to also weaken our mental health. Okay, you're going to start seeing people with mental health problems. You're going to start seeing people with problems with fertility issues. We see that in South Africa, for example, they have a very big problem with fertility. And that's because they also consume a lot of GMOs. Good questions arise about Food and Drug Administration of South Africa because they're not as strict as we are in Kenya, for example. And the same thing with the US. You see how many people have fertility problems. And the fertility problems are growing based on the fact that we're not eating the right genetic makeup of food. And now if we introduce GMOs, what we are doing is that we are compromising the health of Kenyans. We are also compromising our wealth. Yeah, there are people who are into horticulture business right now. They're making a lot of money by selling horticultural products. Once you plant your GMOs in your garden, your neighbor is going to be affected because there's a whole life under the earth, okay? All that under earth life that is going on, the earthworms and things like that, they will die, okay? They are targeting the bollworms, but because they won't be able to consume the food that is being grown, they will die. And what will happen is that the nutrition that they provide to the plants, because they actually turn and aerate the soil, yeah? that is going to be affected. Many countries have rejected GMOs. Guys, you cannot accept GMOs. You Kalenjins, I'm talking to you, Kalenjins and Kikuyus, we are not going to agree to be divided. Kalenjins, Kikuyus, Luos, we are not going to be divided based on our tribes. We do not see each other and ask each other, hi, are you Kalenjin? We usually say, hi, what's your name? Yeah? Where are you from? That doesn't matter where you're from. When you represent us when you're running, when you represent us in business, when you represent us, in academics, we are proud. We are proud Kenyans and we are proud Africans, first of all. Okay? So please, guys, do your best to learn more about GMOs and say no. That 10,000 metric tons is on the high seas that we're hearing, 37 ships coming in, one already docked. 3 days after the government announced, and gazetted the fact that they were bringing in this maize to compete with our dear farmers. Listen, you must stand with our farmers. If you don't stand with our farmers, then in that case, obviously you don't love yourself, do you? Meanwhile, are you aware, that they have increased the cost of education to make sure that you guys are discouraged from having children? Find a way to innovate and find a way to bring down the cost of education. Even if it means that you're going to educate your children at home, you can get some people to come around, the people who are educated around you, form groups and cells so that your children continue to get education. And I would tell young people, do not have children. Have kids. Because right here in the UK, they're doing anything, and other countries, they're doing anything to help their generation and their population increase. Do not allow our African population to decrease. Already in Kenya, we are already in negative growth. We cannot afford that to continue. And on that note, guys, we'll talk later. Love you very much. Thank you so much for your time, and thank you so much for listening to me. Cheers and take care. Bye-bye. Ta-da!